Hey everybody, I'm Wallman Wess.
And I'm Jefe!
And welcome to a long-awaited edition of What's Your Poison? As you can see, we are practicing our social distancing, but that won't stop us from having a nice cold beverage. So, we got 3 of them today. So, we're going to talk about them a little bit. What do you say?
Absolutely. I think a lot of people have been indulging a little more during this quarantine period in trying beverages, new beverages. Perhaps they're drinking the same old ones that they always love, but it's definitely given me an opportunity to just kind of drink a beer without the pressure of having to make a review for it, which isn't a bad thing. It's just a matter of being able to drink it more casually.
Exactly. And we've been missing this for a while, and we hope that you've been missing us too. So, without further ado, let's talk about these beers. Alright, first one, we have the Pina Colada Gose from, I believe, Desthil Brewery in Normal, Illinois. My home area of college, go you Redbirds. So, this one I've had before, it's been a while, but it's pretty good, but I wanted to relive it.
I've had a lot of the Wild Sour series since they started it, back when they were making like their boysenberry sour, their blueberry, just their Flanders Red, which is a pretty popular one. That's more of the very traditional Flanders Belgian style sour ales. This one I'm really interested in because I love pina coladas. So pina colada, sour gose, I'm down. Let's give it a shot.
For our next one, we have the Excelsior Imperial Ale from Schilling. Schilling is very nice.
Washington?
Yeah, Aurburn, Washington.
I've never had anything from Schilling as far as I know.
Yep.
But when it said Imperial Cider, it's, like the higher ABV, I can respect a good cider, so I've definitely got high hopes for it.
Yep, I'm looking forward to it too. And for our dessert beer, we have the original Neapolitan Milk Stout from Saugatuck Brewing.
We've had our fair share of Neapolitans.
Oh yes, and this one, I saw it said the original, so I figured, well...
It was the first Neapolitan stout to come out. Saugatuck's been making it for years. It's been one of their flagships. It was one of the first beers they put on nitro. So you drink it like a Guinness, but it's got a slight sweetness of the vanilla and strawberry in there with the natural cocoa chocolate notes that the malt would already give you in a stout. So I think it's one of my favorites. Absolutely, it's a go-to if you're just like drinking an everyday stout.
Sounds good to me. Well, let's get to it. All right, so for round 1, we have the Pina Colada Gose from Desthil Brewery. Oh, I haven't had a whole lot of the sours in the series yet,
yeah.
but I remember having this one, and I want to see if I still like it or not.
Yeah. Like I said, their Wild Sours program really blew up when they expanded more on their brewery and what they were doing. Desthil had very similar regular beers that you would expect from a brewery, especially a local Illinois brewery. Their sour series really knocked it out of the park, giving us a lot of different variations and different styles. I'm really, really looking forward to this one.
All right. Well, social distancing, cheers.
On the nose, I'm definitely getting the sour. I smell a little pineapple. It says that it's got the pineapple, coconut, coriander, and sea salt. Sea salt's a very typical ingredient, and that's what makes it a gose. But
I always say Gose.
Gose, it doesn't really matter.
All right.
That depends on where you're from. Definitely sour. Kind of candy sour. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of candy. The pineapple is very prominent. Really, the coconut is more of the smoothness of the body. And right now the aftertaste. Like just off my tongue, just talking, it tastes more of like that frozen coconut beverage.
It definitely smooths out the tart.
Which is interesting because even with it away, the sour, the sour actually the sour and the coconut kind of conflict a little bit. But I don't want to say it doesn't blend well.
No, I mean for a sour, it's, I wouldn't say even blend, but
right.
I'd say 60-40.
Yeah, I'd say 60-40. That's a good balance there. I feel like the pineapple blends easily well with sours. The acidity of a pineapple really makes that easily translatable. The coconut aftertaste, that's definitely more of a body thing. So it's not bad. Really, I don't taste the coconut right away. No. Very strong sour pineapple with that aftertaste of coconut. So did a pretty good job with the balance on that. I'm not disgusted and I'm not disgusted at all.
I'm not disgusted either.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I mean, I've never always been the biggest fan of sours.
Right.
But, I mean, something like this is definitely, you know, I wouldn't say I would drink it all day, but I mean, definitely feel like a summer beer.
It's definitely a summer beer. No, hands down, it's a summer beer. I feel like I would drink this, and like if this came in a variety pack, I'd drink this along with whatever else is in the sour variety pack. Say if I was at like a pool party, you know, with all those people that we can't be around.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yep. So, with that being said, what would you rate this?
Ooh. I gave it a good 3.75 pounds.
3.75, that's
3.75, almost 4. It's drinkable sour. It's not. There's so many sours out there that are trying to just be sour and basically kind of like Warheads back in the day. You know?
I was gonna say Warheads. Yeah.
You want to be sour for sour's sake, and I don't feel like that's what this is trying to do. I think it's trying to make a good balanced beverage. Mm-hmm. So almost 4, 3.75.
Something to make you a little more thirsty. To have more of them.
Agreed.
I want to go closer. I mean, for me, I'm gonna say 3.5, 5, because, you know, I mean, it's good for what it is. I mean, I wouldn't say it's the best sour that I've had.
Sure.
I mean, there have been definitely quite a few that I've had in the past, but this one, I mean, if I can have a go-to, this would be a go-to for me. I mean, it's not incredibly expensive either. I mean, it's very well priced.
Absolutely.
I mean, so
5.7% ABV. It's very, you know,
so
very standard.
If you got an extra like $10 to spend, I mean, if you need something to drink, I'd say go for this.
For sure. Yeah, I'm at 3.75 pounds.
All right. Well, now we've done a sour, we're going to do something somewhat on the tart level, but a little more Imperial. So for round 2, we have the Excelsior Imperial Apple from Schilling Hard Cider in Aurburn, Washington.
I have no idea what to expect out of boozy cider.
Yeah, it's very boozy cider.
What is the ABV on that?
8.5.
8.5. That's pretty decent for a higher ABV cider. Two Fools locally in Naperville, they make a lot of what they call in their Smashed series. They've been doing a lot of very innovative cider styles out there in Naperville. So we'll get some Two Fools on the show eventually. But when it comes to higher ABV ciders, they are kings in my mind because they're doing like 11-12% cider. That's crazy. That is really high for a cider.
I mainly got this just because of the fact it said Excelsior on it.
Oh, yeah.
And I, you know, Stanley.
Excelsior.
Well, in that case, true believers, it's time to get truly drunk.
Oh, I would. Come now.
I'm sorry, this is a family show. This is a family show.
All right. That is dark yellow and gold, amber.
That is.
This looks like beer. It's like an amber beer.
Looks like cider.
Yes. But like a golden dark hue. This is a lot darker than a lot of ciders that I tend to drink. I was gonna say, when you drank this last, did you drink it in a glass or in a can?
Last can, I think.
Can. So,
and this was like a while back.
I was gonna say, because I definitely like pouring them out in a glass to let them air properly. But with ciders, there's not a lot of carbonation in there.
This smells so sweet.
It smells like straight up apple.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as it should, right?
Yeah.
I'm getting a little booziness on the nose.
Well, yeah.
Kind of like almost an apple cinnamon, but maybe the cinnamon is kind of translated from the booziness. I don't know.
Possibly.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So like that cinnamon, I think just translated. That was the booziness. It definitely reminds me of like apple pie shots.
Yeah.
That's what this reminds me of. It doesn't have a burn, but that deep apple boozy flavor. That's what I'm getting from it. It's like an apple pie shot, but lighter. So like more cider than whatever alcohol you're using to make apple pie shots.
I mean, for me, I'd say it's like you took woodchuck cider and you dropped some apple pie shot in there, and you got Excelsior.
Oh, it's like adding Fireball to a cider. I mean, literally, just you're bumping up that ABV a little bit, or what they call angry balls for people who don't know. No, this is pretty good. This is enjoyable. I'd say enjoyable to the point where it's dangerous.
Yeah. This is definitely one of those dangerous ones that you don't want to. You don't want to.
Don't go too far.
Don't do a full sitting like us.
Yeah, don't go too far.
You know.
Yeah, you could easily drink a lot of that very easily. I think overall, it's what I expected. It's pretty good. I enjoy it. And coming from Washington, where they're known for apples, that's pretty solid.
I totally enjoy this. I mean, like you said, it's dangerous, but at the same time, I'd still want more.
I know. That's what makes it dangerous, my friend.
The main question you ask is it worth the hangover? This one, 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10.
I feel like when you ask yourself worth the hangover, so there's two different kinds of hangovers you can get from drinking beer, and one of them is obviously the alcohol hangover. The other one is the sugar hangover.
Oof.
If you're drinking something that's super heavy sugar, it's very easy to drink a lot of it. You might get a really good buzz. The next day, yeah, it's a hangover, because you drank booze, but that sugar that's already very prevalent in this drink, like that sugar is what hits your head. That hits your head so hard that bright lights will burn into your skull.
Just the sound of breathing makes you want to go fetal.
You got to be careful. So, and I learned at a young age.
I think a lot of us did at one point.
I feel like, when you're sitting there and you're playing video games, you're just eating candy, and you wake up the next day, you're like, oh God, what is wrong with me? It's the adult equivalent of kid eating too much candy after Halloween.
Right, so time to grade this. I want to give it a really high rating, but I can't. To be fair,
I don't know. What do you think?
I'll say 4 1/4. Pal.
I was going to say 4 1/4 pow.
All right, unanimous 4
1/4 pow.
It's been a long time, but we finally got another unanimous.
There we go.
Boop, boop.
And that's kind of what I was thinking. I was like, it's definitely a 4, but I think that I give it a little bump just because I'm impressed.
Well, plus with the style of it, they say it's an Imperial.
Sure.
So whenever I think Imperial, I think the Imperial Stouts. It's like when you mention that boozy smell of it, or sometimes the aftertaste where you can feel it. I mean, for me, I'm thinking, man, I'm gonna take a sip of this and it's gonna burn. Not so much.
What's interesting about the term Imperial is that basically when you use the term Imperial, it basically means that they're doubling all of the ingredients on one side or the other. So like when you say like a double stout or a double IPA, everything is doubled. But when it's an Imperial, typically one ingredient is doubled. And I'm not sure if it was just the apples that they doubled, because it's definitely very apple forward. But that would also give the cider time to have more sugars for the yeast to eat. So that is what is adding more alcohol, is that there's more sugar in it for it to eat. So if there was double the apples than what they would normally put in there, or double any of the other ingredient, because I don't know specifically what they made it to make it Imperial, but that's typically what Imperial means, is that they increased the amount of a certain ingredient compared to a different recipe.
Yeah, I'm just kind of looking on the back seat. It's basically just kind of like one of those little storylines, like, come on out to space, idiots. That type of,
What is that, a giraffe on there?
Yeah, it's a giraffe with a space helmet.
Why not?
Yeah.
it's the craft beer world. Why not? You can do anything they want.
Put something crazy on it and then, charge them 8 a can or whatever.
I'm telling you, there's a lot of work for artists in the craft beer world, because everybody's always looking for something different.
That's
and
true.
Cool and creative.
Yeah. Speaking of cool and creative, now it's time to go back, way back, when something was original. So for round 3 in our dessert beer, we have the original Neapolitan Milk Stout. This is from Saugatuck Brewing out in Douglas, Michigan. And like we'd mentioned before, we've had a couple Neapolitans, we've had some Spumoni on here. I figured, when I saw the original, I wanted to see if this one held up to what we've had before.
Now, as I said at the beginning, I'm very, very familiar with this beer. Once I got into the craft beer world, Saugatuck came up to me pretty quickly. Getting the Neapolitan was a #1 priority for me, because I just love me some banana splits. The chocolate vanilla strawberry idea, without the banana, obviously. You can add this to Wells banana bread beer and make a banana split. That was literally my motivation for trying this beer, because I always had the banana bread on tap, and I wanted to get this so I could do a new split beer, mixed beer. That with
Nice
the
little hybrid going on.
Oh yeah. So, and you guys know that I love mixing beer. So this is one of my favorite mixer beers. Adding this to just about anything. This is definitely a solid go-to. Putting this on tap with banana bread and selling that as a thing. Oh hell yeah! I'm definitely gonna order that. It's just one of my favorites.
Crank this up.
That being said, I couldn't tell you the last time I had this specific beer. I've had a couple of the variations. They have a barrel-aged version that I've had more recently. But this in particular is just a solid stout. Solid, sweet stout. Yeah, look at that.
And dark. As dark as the last one we had.
A lot of vanilla notes. You get a sweetness of strawberry. I am curious if this tastes different than the last time I had it. Oh, that's so good.
It is.
Sorry.
Oh.
That's better than I remember it. I'm not gonna lie. I get a lot of strawberry, that sweet vanilla in the body, and that chocolate, like I said, it just really blends in with the malt that's in there already, so it's not like they really had to do much else with it. This is smooth. This is delicious, and even the aftertaste, I'm still getting the strawberry, the vanilla that's in there. I love this beer. This is one of my favorites for sure.
I don't know if I can say it's better than what we had before, but
To be fair. This is the original. Now, I'm not one of the guys that says that just because it's the original, it has to be the best. No. The Energy City Neapolitan stuff that we had, that was a 10.5% or 10%.
True, and this is 6%. But
that beer was incredible. The notes of the chocolate and strawberry were so strong in that beer, but so was the booziness. That is what really set it over the edge, and that's what made it the great beer that it is. But this is really great in its own right, because if it weren't for this beer, none of those other beers would exist.
this is true.
For now, obviously somebody would come up with it eventually, but this is a famous one. Oof, fantastic. Love it. This is better than I remember, not gonna lie.
Well, because I remember with the Energy City one, the strawberry was more dominant.
Yes.
I mean, especially if you put it up towards the light, you definitely get the hint of red. And this one, it's just dark.
Just
You know?
dark.
Jinx, you owe me a Coke.
Ha!
Yeah.
I'm not getting you a Coke.
All pitter patter.
Very good. Easy drinking.
Oh yeah.
The body on this is actually pretty light for a stout. It looks dark. It does not drink like motor oil. Like, it's not thick. This is extremely light. It's easily sweet. I get a lot of the roasting notes at the very end, but it might be too sweet to somebody who just wants like a good dry stout.
Mm-hmm.
This doesn't really fit that need. It fits more of a craft beer.
Well, and maybe not just that, but it's also definitely like, let's say you're drinking something else throughout the night, and maybe your taste buds are getting a little too worse for wear, but you need something to kind of ease up on it. Like if you're drinking domestic all night,
Sure.
and let's just say you want to step it up a little bit, you want something a little bit thicker, something a little bit heavier to eventually just get your last drink before you go home. In your dessert beer, I
It's
would
a good
recommend that.
nightcap.
Yeah, it's good.
It's a good nightcap.
I like
Absolutely.
that. I like that.
So yeah, if you're gonna end your night on a beer, and this just so happens to be around, I always say, like, okay, on a scale of no, I will never have it versus I will order it, there are a lot of steps in between. And I have rated other beers just so, even on the lower scale, where say, if someone said, hey, do you want this? I accidentally opened it, and the person that ordered it didn't want it. And they go, oh, well, I mean, sure, I guess. Is it free? There's all these different levels. And like, okay, at what point am I going to accept this beer? I'm going to order this one. Honestly, I would order this one if this was the most exciting beer that was on the list.
On a scale of pals, how many would you give?
At the same time, say it. 1,
2,
3, 4.5. 4.5.
4.5.
4.5 pass.
I was gonna actually
So,
say 4.5.
And I only say 4.5 because I would like literally it is. I would definitely get excited about this beer, but there are definitely other beers out there. If they were on the menu with this, if there's a bunch of good beers out there that if that was on there over this, I'd pick that. Not dissing this beer because I really do love it, but that would really be the only thing. It was like, yes, it's good, but obviously I know that there are other better beers out there that I would be more excited about.
Okay.
But this still has me a 4.5 excitement level out of 5. Like if I saw it on a level, I'd be like, oh, good. Oh, look, they have Saugatuck Neapolitan. Fantastic. I mean, that to me just says one of two things. Either the person who's buying the beer was talked into it, or they thoroughly enjoy it, and it is a good tap balance. If you have a good sweet stout, a bourbon barrel-aged stout, and then a dry stout, that really fits that middle category. So yeah, that's why I say 4.5. That's why.
Hey, unanimous on that one. Well, folks, we hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure that you like, share with your friends, share on social media, and as always, push that red button. Don't forget to ring the bell for instant notifications on Dragonfire Entertainment. Also, if there's anything that you want to see on this channel, doesn't matter what segment, we got a request section, little comments, write them. We need it right now because we're just sitting around, nothing to do, and you know, this is what we do best, right?
Drink beer.
In front of the camera.
Well, you could drink beer.
Oh, you can drink.
Or you could drink beer. Or you could drink beer. Oh, drink beer.
Oh, and you can yard.
Oh, yard.
And you can drink.
Forget that. And you can drink beer.
Until then, I'm Wild Man Wes.
And I'm Jefe.
And we will see you next time. Take care. Stay healthy.